Sure is. Welcome back to The Drive here on The Drive at 5, brought to you by Bangor Window Shade and Drapery, custom blinds, shades, drapery, and outdoor awnings. Bangor Window Shade, 105 Main Street in Bangor. Also brought to you by Bangor Mall Cinema, Greater Bangor's favorite hometown theater for over 40 years. Bangor Mall Cinema, luxury recliners and upgraded food menu. Find showtimes, reserve your seat at yourneighborhoodtheater.com. I saw Obsession this week. I've been wanting to see it for a while. It's making waves by making a bunch of money, even though it only costs $750,000. It's a psychological horror, and it reminds me a lot of the last 24 hours.
What we're going through right now? Trying to make sense of the Jaylen Brown trade?
So there you go. That was, who was that right there?
That
was Chris Forsberg. It sounded like Chris Mannix.
Chris Mannix, yeah.
Okay, I knew it was one of the Chris's. Everyone is befuddled. They're puzzled. They're confused. You can't really make sense of why. Because we don't have answers, and we've kind of speculated and come up with what we believe could be possible reasons for it, but ultimately it feels like Jaylen Brown forced his way out by doing something or multiple somethings that just made it so that the Celtics were desperate. Because it's one thing, like if you had traded him to the Western Conference to, say, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Memphis Grizzlies had given you Ja Morant and a couple of mediocre first-round picks, you would say, well, that's not much, but at least you're not going to see him. To trade him to Philly.
Yeah. 4 times a year.
That is
possibly the playoffs.
The strangest part of all this.
Say, hey, come on up, take our position at the top of the Eastern Conference. We'll go down and swap with you right around the play-in territory.
Yeah, unless Brad Stevens is utterly convinced that he and Joel Embiid cannot coexist and that maybe this is his way of just blowing up the 76ers because the egos he knows they're not going to work. It just doesn't make sense.
Wouldn't that be something? Danny Ainge got the reputation for fleecing other teams. Brad's taken it to a whole other level. He's playing like
devastating.
He's in a different dimension. He's looking ahead at the future, psychological, just destruction of the 76ers. I think we're grasping at straws there to try to make us feel better about this trade because talk about a shocker. This might be as shocked as I have been, not to see that he got dealt, because again, we all kind of were resigned to that fact, but to see the location, I don't know that I have been that shocked by where one of my teams is sending a player out in quite a while. Yeah, it defies all levels of logic. In the first hour, we tried to play detectives, and we'd welcome your phone calls, 992-9029, though we do have to get to break here in just a minute, so we have time for like one maybe. As to like, what did Brad Stevens see? What did the team see that made them this desperate to make this move? Now, clearly, part of the factor here is that we overvalued and the team overvalued Jaylen Brown. I don't think we can look past that. Because the talk was 4 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks, a couple of first-round picks, but then a major asset in return, Giannis, all these different things. It's pretty clear at this point that the NBA and its teams were not valuing Jaylen Brown nearly that high. Because I'm sure that Brad Stevens did not want to trade him to the Philadelphia 76ers. He probably would have gladly traded him to just about any other team, but he felt that all the other teams were offering less. And so that is interesting to me that the rest of the league valued him even less than the Philadelphia 76ers did. But that's very odd to me. Yeah, it is. Let's looks like we got a call. Let's go over to the Heroes Hotline. Who's this?
Hey, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, what do you think?
Hey, I'm not even a Celtics fan, and I cannot even fathom how they traded an MVP candidate, Finals MVP, for a guy who can't even stay on the court. I don't even understand it.
Yeah. It's actually good to hear from someone who's not a Celtic fan who also can't understand it, because we're saying that maybe we overvalue Jaylen Brown, but Matt's telling us, that makes no sense.
I perennially dang the Celtics to heck, and I still can't understand it.
Yeah, I don't, honestly, I have yet to see anyone, and that includes a lot of big-time Celtics haters, that look at this deal and say, like, they make sense. Like, no one has thought it's made sense to this point.
The only stat out there is that one where they were 36-6 the last 3 years without him on the court, 90-36 over the course of his career. But that to me is like, look up Jason Tatum's numbers, and they're probably pretty good without him too, just because they have won a ton of games over the last 9 years.
Yeah, and it's still... Yeah, thank you for the call, Matt, by the way. We appreciate it. And it's good to hear a non-Celtics perspective here. We can take one more. We got someone else calling on the Heroes Hotline right now. Who's this?
Jamie.
Jamie?
How you feeling today, Jamie?
Well, I'm the Lakers fan that always calls.
So you're probably feeling a little better that your team's making some moves and ours is dismantling.
No one cares about where LeBron goes anymore, Jamie. Now they're all focused on this.
I hate LeBron.
How do you value Jaylen Brown? What do you look at him as league-wide?
Honestly, I think they should have traded Tatum and kept Brown.
Oh,
really?
So you think that Brown is better than Tatum, or at least more valuable to the Celtics?
Well, he's healthy. Tatum's coming back from an injury. Who's to say it's not a continuous injury?
Yeah, and you never know, right? I mean, you never know how things could play out. So
the one thing I'm not looking forward to from this is the inevitable Jaylen Brown spin that's going to come out. Like, no matter how reputable or glowing of an organization we think the Celtics to be, everybody wants to come out on top of any sort of split that happens in life.
I think you've already seen it with the Colin Cowherd bit we played earlier, where it was like he says he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's got a disease. I'm not looking forward to
that because Jaylen Brown was a fantastic basketball player for 9 years. He was a better person to the city of Boston, taking care of underprivileged people in the community and trying to make that a big part of what he did. So just let's miss everyone with all that BS.
Yeah, I've seen people that made the joke like some guys get traded because they're not smart enough. Jaylen Brown got traded because he was too smart. They couldn't get enough for him because he was too smart.
Yeah, that could certainly be reality.
And thank you for the call, Jamie. We appreciate it. And we'll take some more calls here later on in the hour as well if people want to weigh in. But yeah, I just think that the situation had soured so much and left them so desperate, and the league in their analytical minds felt so strongly that Jaylen Brown was not nearly as good as his numbers suggest.
Can this be another just black eye for analytics? Can we remove them from sports?
I mean, we'll find out, right? Now, the Celtics might go out there and win 55 games, and Peyton Pritchard might be a second guy, and we don't know. And the proof will turn out in the next year. Maybe the 76ers blow up and Brad Stevens will look like a genius. I don't think any of that is likely. But there are certainly numbers that you can point at to say that Jaylen Brown was highly overrated. And I'm not sure that I buy all of them, but clearly the league did. And that has to tell you something, that there's a lot of smart people and a lot of smart minds that passed on getting Jaylen Brown, or at least said he's not worth the money, to have him go to Philadelphia.
Oh, I know.
Everyone else in the league had to say, we're offering you less than this in order for Philly to get him for peanuts.
I don't buy any of that, because these people are leading basketball organizations, and they're the same ones going on record without a name to say, oh, Jaylen Brown would be the 7th best player on a team per the analytics, or all this crap that...
Yeah, Bobby Marks that said that.
Well, he was just relaying it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it doesn't make any sense because the eye test is there. The guy finished 6th in the MVP vote last year. Let's take one more caller here on our Heroes Hotline. We've been asking for him, so let's let him come in. Who's this? Oh, they hung up. Didn't come in fast enough.
Oh, no, there they are again. Here we go. Who's this?
Hey, this is Matt again. I called. I'm still listening to the same part, but it's almost as like the Luka Doncic trade, right? Not many people could make sense of that either.
I agree to an extent, but the difference to me is that everyone kind of believed Nico Harrison, their GM at the time, to be pretty incompetent, and there was no inkling that they wanted to trade Luka. Whereas in this case, I think people widely respect Brad Stevens, and everyone knew that Jaylen Brown was going to get traded. So where in the Luka case, they didn't get much in return or not enough in return because it was a surprise to everybody, in this case, like every team had multiple weeks to send Celtics their best offer, and this was the best they could get. So I see where you're coming from.
That's the only thing that gets me, too, is like they had to have shopped him, and nobody was biting.
Yeah, it was no secret that they wanted to trade him. So the fact that this is the best they could get meant that we were wildly wrong in our expectations of what they could expect in return.
Well, I hope he proves everybody wrong.
Are you a Philly fan?
I'm not a Philly. I'm an LA Lakers fan personally.
Oh,
but
so we've got
multiple Laker fans
calling in. All right.
You see, even Laker fans are riled up that we would make such a dumb move and let Jaylen Brown walk.
Yeah.
I'm an NBA fan first, I guess I should say. So.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll take a break here. Again, Drive On is coming up next, 992-9029. We'll get everybody off that Heroes Hotline so you guys can call in We'll take one caller, then they'll need a lifeline. Lots of prizes up for grabs. 992-9029 if you want a chance to win them. It's very simple. 4 questions, all multiple choice. Mark will ask you them, you answer them, and you get a progressive amount of prizes. There's some movie passes online. There is a $10 gift card to Heroes. There is
car detail.
Yeah, car detail. And then there's season tickets to Maine football. All of those potentially up for grabs if you want to play Drive On. So 992-9029. We'll do that next. We are brought to you by Heroes Sports Grill and Entertainment Center, the official sports grill of The Drive and the place to be, and downtown Bangor and at heroesportsgrill.com. So give us a call, 992-9029 if you'd like to play Drive On. That's next here on 92.9 The Ticket.
You want to know something frightening before we get into this, Aaron?
I don't know. Do I?
Well, I just pulled up that Open. The date on it is like May of 2017. We've been at this for a little bit, haven't we?
Almost a decade. Brought to you by Uno Pizzeria and Grill, where they have late-night deals every night in the bar or lounge. 9 p.m. to close. Enjoy $6 apps, $5 cheeseburgers, or $5 Indy cheese or pepperoni deep dish at 725 Stillwater Avenue in Bangor. Don't forget, $1 tall Coors Light when Team USA is in action.
Monday night.
I was going to say, they're playing up their next game in a couple of days. Who are they playing?
Belgium.
I knew
was
that.
down 2-0 against Senegal before the USA game yesterday and then came roaring back to win it.
Now, I saw they're favored against Belgium, but I feel like if you had said that same thing before the tournament started, they would have been flipped. Am I wrong?
Well, so Belgium is a higher ranked team than them in the in the world rankings, 9th compared to 16th, but this isn't like 10 years ago, Belgium was really, really good. They were like competing among the top teams in Europe. Okay. This isn't the same squad as that. So they should be favored, but I would do it like 55-45. It's pretty close.
Okay. So we have someone on our Heroes hotline to play Drive On. They need a lifeline, though. 992-9029. If you'd like to be their lifeline, you get yourself
$20 gift card to Heroes.
Thank you. All you have to do is help them if they need help. And if they get that question right, you get the money, right? I mean, it's that simple.
If they get question 1 wrong, you get to swoop in and take over the game.
That's true.
Don't want to put that juju on Mike in Milford, though, who's waiting on line 1. Mike, how goes it today?
It goes. I was just thinking to myself, I've played a few times. I suck at this game. I'm pulling for a win today.
Well, maybe today is the day.
Due. That's all that means is that you're due. Starting off with question number 1. Always have a theme here on Drive On. We're looking at trades in today's Drive On, coming off the Jaylen Brown trade. Question number 1 for you, Mike. Who is the other guy shipped out of town with Mookie Betts in that 2020 deal with the Dodgers? Was it Michael Chavis, Ryan Brazier, Eduardo Nunez, or David Price? You're on the clock.
Man.
Pre-COVID time, so the brain gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to go David Price.
Lock that in?
Lock it in. Oh.
Don't worry, Mike. That was just the lock-in sound effect. It was, in fact, David Price.
Well done, sir. You got your first one right.
Okay.
There you go. You got $10 to Heroes coming your way. Mike heard that first sound effect. He thought that was the end of his stay with us.
Yeah.
Now, this is the bad one.
You don't want to hear that.
Okay.
You know it's done.
Okay, we don't want that one. All right, sounds good.
You got yourself $10 to Heroes. You want to take that and walk, or you want to drive on for a couple of movie passes?
Sounds good. I missed the question. I'm sorry.
Do you want to drive on, or do you want to... Mark, are you phoning a friend?
No, it's all good that he missed the question. I should have missed what I was going to do next because I didn't have the right sound button teed up.
So he asked you if you wanted to drive on or if you just wanted to take the passes and run away. Or the $10 to Heroes and run away.
Let's drive on.
Yeah, of
there
course.
we go. Now let's try this again. Driving on to question number 2. Whoa, swallow my tongue.
You all right there?
When the Red Sox traded Manny in 2008, they got back this player who made an All-Star appearance and finished 7th in the MVP vote in his lone season in town.
I know this one.
Jason Bay, Adrian Beltre, Victor Martinez, or Justin Masterson. You're back on the clock, Mike.
Can he phone a friend in the studio if he doesn't know?
Aaron is the only lifeline available to you at the moment, so I've lost that button. Let me get it back for you here.
Beep, boop, 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 beep.
Well, first I should ask, Mike, are you opting to phone a friend?
I am opting to phone a friend, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your friend is Aaron? You're accepting of that? Okay.
I am completely accepting of that.
Aaron, are you there? Are you on the other end?
I am here today. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You said with some confidence that
I did.
I know that one.
Yeah, I hope I'm right. And it is pre-COVID, so you never know for sure. I feel like sometimes memories get stuck up in there, but I'm pretty positive it was Jason Bay.
This is your decision, Mike.
Of the
you want to
Pittsburgh
lock
Pirates
in
at the
Jason
time.
Bay, or do you want to spit out a name of your own?
Yeah, let's lock that in, Jason Bay.
It was indeed Jason Bay. Came to town, hit like 36 homers the next year, and then I believe went off to the Mets, and his career quickly ended after that.
It was weird.
You are halfway home, Mike. You've got yourself 2 movie passes to Bangor Mall Cinemas. You got $10 in gift cards to Heroes. Do you want to drive on now for a Dean's Express interior detail?
I need a detail. Yeah, I'm going to drive on.
We're going in reverse chronological order here. So we're going back to November of 2005 when the Bruins shocked their fan base by trading Joe Thornton to the San Jose Sharks. Which of the following players was included in the return to Boston? Zdeno Chara, Marco Sturm, Tim Thomas, or Mark Savard? You're back on the clock.
Oh, man. Let's do Marco Sturm.
You want to lock it in?
Let's lock it in.
Feeling good about it, Mike. Feeling good.
Any reason other than the fact that he's the only one still with the Bruins? Doesn't matter. It was the right answer.
Didn't even give him a chance.
Let me cut you off with a ding, Mike. Yes, Marco Sturm, part of a 3-player return for Joe Thornton back in that 2005 deal. So now you've made it 3 legs of the way. 2 movie passes, $10 to Heroes. You got the detail that you needed. You've got 2 season tickets to Maine football for the 2026 season around the corner. You want to drive on and risk everything you have, or walk away with what's already in your pocket?
I'm going to walk away, guys. I'm
Ooh,
gonna walk away.
all right. He
All
got
right.
that. He said he needed the detail. He secured the detail,
I do.
and now he's walking.
I do.
All right.
Hey, look at that. We said you were due,
Yeah.
and you got yourself 3 prizes out of it.
Now, just for fun, Mike, we like to make the person answer the 4th question anyway.
When they back out, yeah.
No pressure. You're not winning or losing anything here. Hit him with the 4th question.
On deadline day in 2004, when the Red Sox struck a 4-team trade sending Nomar to the Cubs, also involved in the deal was Montreal. Who was that 4th team? Oakland A's, LA Dodgers, Minnesota Twins, or Anaheim Angels?
It's the Angels, and I'm pretty confident about that.
It's the Minnesota
was gonna
Twins,
say,
Mike,
'cause
so
that's
it's
where-
a very good thing that you walked.
That's where Orlando Cabrera came from, right?
No, he came from Montreal. Doug Mankiewicz came from Minnesota,
Oh, Dougie.
who pocketed the ball at the end of the World Series.
Yep.
Well, Mike, yeah, it's a really good thing that you chose to walk away.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait. That'll be great. I haven't needed the detail for a while. It's great. Yeah.
All right, just hang on the line for me. I'll get your info off air.
Nope. He was kind of breaking up there at the end anyway, so hopefully he stays on. We've got Kevin and Paul Dupont coming up next, talking about trades. The Bruins have made some deals.
They've been busy.
I don't even know. You mentioned earlier who they traded for, but I've been so caught up in the NBA, I don't even remember. But we'll talk to him next about those, as well as a Sports Center and a weather. Welcome back to The Drive, brought to you by Novus Auto Glass. Call Novus Auto Glass today at 945-6688 to get your windshield repaired or replaced. Also brought to you by Casella. Good pay, good people, good life. Find your place at powerofhardwork.com. Let's go to our Heroes hotline now to check in with Kevin Paul Dupont, talking some Bruins with Kevin from the Boston Globe. And much like the Celtics, the Bruins have been pretty active on the trade front, though none that really gets you, I feel like, too excited, certainly not to the level of what the Celtics just did. Break down the moves that they've made so far, Kevin.
Well, first of all, good to be with you guys. The obvious one was getting Peterka. The highest profile, I'd say, of their deals was getting Peterka, J.J. Peterka, a guy who should be able to score. I think they gave up 2 first-rounders for him, and I think when you give up that kind of equity, you're expecting more than J.J. Peterka, especially at $7.7 million. So the combination of the 2 picks and the high salary, I think, there's such consciousness now of what players cost and how they fit into cap. Now, that said, if he comes in and he does score 30, 35 goals a year, given what the current rates are, I think 7.7 probably ends up being an okay figure. But right now, to me, that's a little bit hard on the eyes. The rest of it, they got Borgen from the Rangers, a guy who kind of, in my mind, fits into the Carlo role. Not particularly tough, but has size, has reach. I think they'll use him a lot in that PK role where they had Brandon Carlo for years. Kind of fits in right at Brandon Carlo's money too, $4.1 million a year. So you get a player under control for 4 years, and that's good. So right now, I think none of these moves is spectacular. I don't think they've really moved the needle forward with these picks. The question is, can they come back this season and have something close to a 100-point season? I think they're going to be challenged for that. So in my mind, that kind of leaves them challenged to repeat as a wild card bid, especially when you see the improvements that Florida, as you guys remember, didn't make it last year. They got all banged up and hurt, back-to-back cup wins, and then they don't even make the playoffs. But they've really gone. They brought in the other Kachuk, Brady. They've gotten tougher with Hathaway and Gudash. That's going to be a very tough team to beat. John Carlson last night went to Tampa. That makes them better. So it's going to be, again, an improved Atlantic division that was already tough.
It's interesting to hear you say that because I feel like I just read today Don Sweeney saying he feels like the Bruins are getting back to being a competitive team. What do you think he's referring to when he says that after the moves that have been made so far?
I think he's saying what he has to say as a general manager. He can't say that they stepped back, and I don't necessarily say they did step back. I think I think the competition is only getting stronger in the East. Excuse me. I would have, if everything they had done and kept Arvidsson, I would feel better about where they are today. Arvidsson had 25 goals for them last year. As soon as he went out of the playoffs, you could feel some of the steam going out of the offense. He ends up signing for 2 years at $5 million in Detroit. To me, I would have gone with him over bringing in Borgen on the backside. So I question their ability to score. That became a greater struggle down the stretch. They had a pretty good power play last year for the first half, 2/3 of the season. Came back from the Olympic break, and the power play again kind of took a walk. So I don't know what's going to spark that power play. Arvidsson, when he's on, does. Maybe Peterka does. I think that they're counting on that a lot. I haven't seen a lot of him. I saw him in Buffalo. He went out to Utah for a year last year. I can't say I saw his game day to day, but we'll see. I mean, Sweeney's done a good job. Often the end product performs better than I think it's going to. Last year, case in point. But right now, I don't feel it was any bold step forward.
And the prevailing narrative, it felt like towards the end of last season, even after the season, David Pastrnak not getting any younger. You've got this guy who is supremely talented, and you kind of got to put up or shut up because you're running out of the years where he's in his prime. What would that have looked like going into this offseason? Like, what would the Bruins have had to have done to say, okay, yeah, they're taking this seriously. They're taking David Pastrnak, and they're saying, we've got to build around this guy now because we don't have much more time to do it.
Well, one thing would have been keeping Arvidsson, as I said before. I think he played such a key role in their offense, came on strong. Didn't have a first good couple of months, but came on strong. Sturm liked him. He likes Sturm. Frankly, guys, I'm really surprised he's not here. So that would have been good. If they'd gone out last night and gotten, this is a kind of a different discussion, but if the back end had been enhanced last night by them getting John Carlson, not bringing in Borgen, but getting John, I'd be more excited about that. He ends up going to Tampa. So there you've got really a world-class defenseman you would have added to the back. right now, I still don't know who's going to play first pairing with Charlie McAvoy when he comes back from a 6-game suspension at the start of October. But I don't think that's still, in my mind, that still hasn't been answered. Who's going to be on his left side? I give Jonathan Aspro a lot of credit. Played with grit, career American leaguer, stepped in, got himself a contract. But that's all that aside, that doesn't make for a dynamic pairing with Charlie McAvoy. So they've still got, and maybe they do. Maybe that they're 8 or 9 deep now on D because they went out and got Morgan and they brought back Connor Clifton. I like that pickup. Not from an offensive standpoint, but from causing some trouble back there and making guys think twice as they come across the blue line into the Bruins zone. Jordan Harris, I thought before he got hurt, I thought he had some promise there. So that's looking better, but I don't get that sense of a real dynamic play back there.
How do you feel about the year that Jeremy Swayman had last year and what we can expect from him moving forward? Could he be an even bigger or more crucial part of this team moving forward as they try to scratch out goals at the other end?
I think so. I hope so. Swayman, I think he played into the number one role last year, which is certainly how they've paid him the last couple of years, although with the way the salaries are going right now, his AAV number of $8 million and change is kind of looking modest, which is hard to believe that it can change that quickly in a couple of years. But with the cap going up to $104 million for this coming season, the dynamics of the whole financial payout has changed. I liked what I saw of him last year. He's going to have, at least as we speak, guys, he's going to have Michael DiPietro as his partner. That could mean that Jeremy's could be looking at upward of 60 games. Traditionally, what they've liked to do with their number one here is keep him in low to mid 50s. But with a rookie tender, unproven in the NHL, I don't think DiPietro's got even 200 minutes of play in the NHL in the 7 years that he's been pro. So that remains to be seen. Also, part of what I wrote this morning is it also wouldn't surprise me if Sweeney goes out and gets a veteran guy. Sometimes you can get that veteran guy, be it late 20s, early 30s, into his mid-30s for $1 million a year. I think that was the price that Edmonton signed Freddie Anderson for the other day, and Freddie had a real good run in Carolina.
Well, Kevin, we appreciate you taking the time and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Guys, I like that idea. Good to be with you.
Yeah, Kevin Paul Dupont right there at the Boston Globe talking some Bruins, and they've been making moves. A little under the radar, given the circumstances.
Everything's going to be a little under the radar for a while. From
their neighbors in the TD Garden. But
and even, like we were talking about with Noah Dalzell, it didn't really dawn on me that none of these trades can be finalized until July 6th. So Brad Stevens has the excuse not to talk through the long weekend.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to.
If I'm him,
we don't have to find out about this.
I'm telling you, 10 a.m. on Saturday. Everyone's going to be at the parades, and then you got the fireworks after, some barbecues. That's the time. That's the date. Just let it rip, man. That's pure Bruins. That's exactly what they would do.
It is. That would be a very Bruin move.
But they won't because they can't. Brought to you by Acadia Federal Credit Union. Their newest location is now open on Wilson Street in Brewer, serving Maine since 1963 with branches in Bangor, Brewer, and Aroostook County. Learn more at acadiafcu.org. Also brought to you by Next Home Experience. The market leader is Next Home. Get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, who knows? Maybe he'll have some other giant move up his sleeve between now and Tuesday.
We'll see. Only hope.
Sports Center and a weather forecast, and then we'll take a break before buzzer beaters. A bit of good news. Bangor International Airport on Saturdays now until I think September is doing nonstop flights to Denver. That's the furthest they've ever had a nonstop flight, which gets me super excited. Denver, a place I wanted to visit. If I do, or if you do not stay at the Sheraton in Denver. Why is that, Mark?
Is it located near the airport, so therefore it has a run-in with the Illuminati and the New World Order that's buried underneath the Denver airport by like a mile and is running the world?
You just went places I didn't expect. No, much more simple than that. A California pilot recently stayed at the Sheraton there, and he woke up in the middle of the night to a swarm of bats in his room. The people came in, the hotel staff, and took care of the bats, but left one. That one bit him on the foot.
Batman?
And then they refused to give him a new room both times, which is crazy to me. And then at the end of it, they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, a lot of the bats around here have been testing positive for rabies.
I was going to say, what's the worst you can get from a bat? But the answer is rabies.
And so he's had to have all these shots, all these medical bills. And then they were like, yeah, we're not going to give you anything for any of this. And so he's suing them for $100,000. Or, sorry, it's cost him over $100,000 for all the shots and things. And he's an airline pilot. And so he's like, I'm kind of terrified to stay in hotels now. Like I'm having PTSD from the bat swarm that you put in my room.
I'm telling you, look up Denver Airport Illuminati. You will find yourself in a rabbit hole.
I don't think I want to. All right, we'll see you sometime soon.